Hi everyone, today is a super exciting day because I am going to be planting into my new raised beds for the first time, and the first thing that I'm planting is sweet peas. So I'm planting them today for a couple of reasons. So it's towards the end of April, and this is a good time for me to put them in because I really want them to be in flower for the middle of July. And I've looked back at historical data, what's happened in my garden in the past, and I have found that if I plant them out about now, that they will be in full flower towards the beginning to the middle of July. And that's what I need because we're having a wedding celebration for my son and daughter-in-law in our garden in July. Now I'm planting them in the raised beds because I don't actually want them in my borders because they're a little bit messy. Like if you've grown sweet peas before, you'll know that they form a lovely, beautiful scented mound, but I often grow them up obelisks and they just get very tangled up. It's really hard to pick them, and I really want to pick them because we're creating the table decorations. So I need to be able to pick them. So if they're on an obelisk, they kind of get messy, tangled up. Also, not all my obelisks are tall enough, and I do find that they kind of look like a bit of a disjointed mess in the middle of my borders, and I don't really love them there. Like I love sweet peas, but I have never found the right spot for them in my borders. So my decision is that I'm going to plant them here in the sunniest spot in the garden. So they are going to be on the uppermost, northernmost side. I think one of my cats is chasing a bird. I just heard it fly over my head. Oh, it was Cosmo. Cosmo was chasing a bird. Anyway, yes, I'm planting them here in the very first one we come to, which is the sunniest spot. And the reason I'm doing that is because they're going to go on quite a high frame, and if I planted it anywhere else, it would shade what was behind it because the sun comes around this way. This is the northernmost side, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's why they're going in this spot. They are the first things to go in. Let me show you how I'm going to put up this sweet pea support. This is the first time I've done it, so that's a caveat there that it may all collapse on me because I've never built one of these before, but I don't think they're particularly difficult. I don't want to use obelisks, as I said, because I really want them in a long straight line so that I can pick them more easily. I will tell you which varieties I've got and how I've grown them and how I'm planting them, and the varieties I've chosen are specifically for this wedding celebration. So I picked the colours to go with this idea, and also I picked these varieties because they are highly scented, and they're like very highly scented, and they are supposed to form quite big blooms on long stems, so they're really good for cutting. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to take off this weed suppressing membrane that we put on top of the border, so that raised bed, so that the cats didn't climb all over it and weeds didn't grow on there before I was ready to plant. I can see weeds already. Okay, I need to hoe the bed before I start. I don't think much of the weed suppressing membrane. I have absolutely no idea why there are so many weeds. I can only think that it's the garden compost that we put down, but then we put a thick layer of shop bought compost on top. But there are definitely lots of little green weeds. I don't know what they are. Anyway, I've got rid of them all. So what I'm going to do now is build my trellis. So I'm going to put 2 sticks either side of the irrigation system, this end. Push them in as firmly as I can, and I'm going to put 2 the other end. I'm going to put 2 in the middle so that I've got good support. And then we need to tie them at the top. So we want them to be joined a little bit further down so that we can put a bamboo cane through the gap there. So I'm just going to tie them. want to put a cane through the centre like this. I'm not tall enough. Okay. And now I need to tie that cane in. The other thing that we need is a bamboo cane to go along the bottom, and so I'm just going to do exactly the same and tie one in at the bottom. I haven't really got a method, I'm just wrapping it round in the hope that this is sufficiently secure. It's not really going to be doing much except holding up the trellis that I'm going to create. So it doesn't have to be, it's not particularly weight bearing. Right, so now I've set up my bamboo trellis. Now we need to create something for the sweet peas to climb up. They will cling to whatever they can find, they'll cling to each other. But I'm going to use twine rather than anything else. If I had some chicken wire, I might have used that just to save time, but I'm happy to experiment and try my hand at doing it this way. I think it's really simple. So basically we're going to wind it between the top and the bottom all the way along the trellis. And in doing my research, somebody said that if you put a pencil or something through your twine loop, and I'm using thicker twine for this than I've been tying the trellis with, just because I think they probably want something more substantial to climb up. Anyway, this apparently is going to make my life a lot easier just by having my spool on something that will turn around. Let's see if that works or if I just give up and, you know, use my hands. I'm just going to start by tying it on one end. I'm not going to be tall enough to do this. I'm going to get Richard's help because I think using a ladder is going to be just silly. So while Richard's doing that, I'm going to show you my sweet peas. So most of my sweet peas, I have not pinched them, but they have started branching on their own. I sowed these on the 19th of February, so I always sow my sweet peas around Valentine's Day. It's just how I remember when to sow them. And I started them off indoors in my kitchen, and they've been hardening off outside for weeks, probably a month now. So they get daylight and rain and a little bit of cold temperatures, but then at night I bring them in because I don't want the slugs and snails eating them. So you can see that they've started branching. I put 3 seeds into each 9cm pot. That's about a 3-inch pot. They need to be deep pots because sweet peas don't like their roots being disturbed. So I put 3 seeds into each pot with the intention of keeping all 3 seeds and hoping all 3 seeds germinated, and they did. So every single one of my seeds that I put in germinated. So each pot has 3 plants in it, but I'm going to plant them as a whole, and I always do this. I plant all 3 together and just as one plant like this, and I'm going to space them out. So I'm going to put 6 plants on each side. I'm going to put 6 plants this side, 6 plants this side, and I've got 3 different varieties. Now the plants on this side will get a little bit more shade than the ones on this side, but they should grow at exactly the same time. So I'm going to put 4 of one variety here, 4 of one variety here, 4 of one variety there. But this side will get a lot of morning sun, so they'll get sun right the way through until midday, I should think. Maybe a bit longer, but there's nothing I can do about that, which is why I'm scattering the varieties on each side. first one I'm planting here is called Juliet, and that's got a cream base with these very subtle sort of pinky apricot tones to it. It's a modern grandiflora, so that means it's going to have all the gorgeous scent from the grandifloras, but it's been bred to have bigger flowers or slightly larger flowers and long stems, so good for cutting. And this particular one, Juliet, has got citrus overtones to it. So I am planting them. So as I said, I'm planting the entire pot with all 3 plants into one space, and I'm adding some of the plant food that we always use to the base of the planting hole. So we can see that they've all got really good root systems, and I'm just planting it at the same height as they were in their pots. I suppose I'm spacing them about 30 centimetres apart. This next one is called Monarch's Diamond, and it's another modern grandiflora with bred to have the same gorgeous scent. And this is another one that's got large creamy white flowers flushed with pink. It's slightly different to Juliet, which has got more sort of apricot-y tones, but Monarch's Diamond is definitely has a pink flush to it. This last one that I'm planting is called King's Ransom, and there's been a lot of hype about King's Ransom. It's a Spencer variety. It's a new breed of the Spencer variety, so it's going to have the same wonderful scent. It's going to have nice large flowers, but it's the colour that is very different. And this one has been described as smoky watermelon, burnt orange, dusky salmon, and the colour changes with age, which is possibly why there's, a lot of hype about it. I don't know, it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm very excited to have it. They are very precious seeds to me. That actually took me a little longer than I was expecting it to take. I thought it would be up in an instant, but I'm so happy that it's done, and thank goodness Richard was tall enough to be able to manage for me. He did say that putting that little dowel stick thing through it was just like a plant stake, a very short plant stake, through the centre of the string really did make it much easier to wind it round the bean poles. Why can't I talk properly these days? I'm exhausted. Anyway, it is done. My sweet peas are in, thank goodness, and hopefully come the middle of July I'm going to be inundated with loads of delicious smelling blooms. I really hope you've enjoyed this video today, found it interesting, useful. Maybe you want to have a go at putting one of these up yourself. It wasn't hard, it just took a little bit longer than I thought, and I'm a little bit concerned that I haven't been able to get the poles in deep enough because we put that layer of cardboard at the bottom of the beds and it hasn't rotted down because we haven't had any rain. Anyway, we'll see. Hopefully it will stay up for this year. Anyway, as I said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.